Subarao. Bayan. అనుకోవాలి ఒకసారి ఎవరు మనకి చార్లి గారు వచ్చారు. రామారావు అట్లూరి. అరే ఇద్దరు వచ్చారయ్యా, వీళ్ళెవరు ఒకసారి రత్నం గారు కనుక్కోలేదు. ఇద్దరు వచ్చారు, రామారావు అండ్ సుబ్బారావు.
హలో
హలో సార్.
గుడ్ ఈవినింగ్ అండి. నేను అట్లూరి రామారావు అండి.
బాగున్నాం
Thank
సార్,
you
మీరు
very
ఎట్లున్నారు సార్?
నేను వానపాములో ఉన్నాను, మా ఊర్లో ఉన్నానండి.
ఓకే, వానపాముల వాళ్ళ నేటివ్ ప్లేస్ నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే, అదే అర్థం.
అవునండి అవునండి. కి 100 years అవుతాయండి. 1927 కి 2027 కి 100 years అవుతాయండి. నాన్నగారు డేట్ ఆఫ్ బర్త్ 27 అండి.
అవును.
లైట్ ఇవ్వ.
Hi, good afternoon. I am Srinivasa Reddy.
Good afternoon, Andy. Sir, good afternoon, sir. Sir, we'll wait for another 5 minutes, sir.
No problem, sir. Absolutely. Okay.
గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ శ్రీనివాస్ రెడ్డి గారు. నేను
Good
అట్లూరి
afternoon, sir.
రామారావు అండి.
Good afternoon,
అట్లూరి
sir.
రామారావు అండి, వెంకటేశ్వరరావు గారి అబ్బాయిని, రెండో అబ్బాయిని.
Okay, great, sir.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
సుబ్బారావు గారు కూడా ఉన్నారు, శ్రీలక్ష్మి మేడం కూడా ఉన్నారు, వాళ్ళ ఫ్యామిలీ మెంబర్స్.
Okay.
వెల్కమ్.
Okay, great, sir. Great.
అండ్ మా చైర్మన్ వెంకట సుబ్బయ్య గారు, వాళ్ళు చిన్నాన్న ఎవరో ఎక్స్పైర్ అవుతే లేరు. సో ఐఎమ్ డాక్టర్ ఐఎస్ఎన్ రాజు, నేను పాస్ట్ చైర్మన్ ని, కౌన్సిల్ మెంబర్ ని. టుడే ఐఎమ్ ప్రిసైడింగ్ దిస్ ఈవెంట్ అండి.
Yes, sir. That's great, sir. Thank you, sir. That's great. Great of
థ్యాంక్ యూ
you.
సో మచ్ సార్. యూ టేకెన్ సో మచ్ trouble.
No trouble, sir.
You have accepted to take the.
No, it's maybe my honor, sir. Honor to me. Satish asked me, so I feel that maybe whatever we are doing the work in that, I can share a little, maybe 0.001% to the people. So that may be a little great. Maybe I may
There's a
learn
highly
0.01.
technical field, and you are doing wonders. Precision.
Maybe I know 0.01, so maybe I am able to share out of that 0.001.
So nice of you, sir. So nice
Thank
of
you,
you.
sir. Thank you, sir. You can join in the computer. Join on the You can join in the computer.
పేపర్ హ్యూమన్ రిసోర్స్ డెవలప్మెంట్ లో కూడా చేశారన్నమాట. ఈ లోపల మన ఎల్లులోకి జాయిన్ అవుతారు. ఓకే, స్టార్ట్ చేశారు. స్టార్టెడ్ ఇక్కడ గార్లాండింగ్ చేసి వస్తాం చెప్పండి. నేను వెళ్ళి 4-5కి చెప్పేసి వెళ్ళిపోదాం. 2 minutes ఉంది. గార్లాండింగ్ చేసింది కూడా దీంట్లో స్క్రీన్ మీద పెట్టండి. పెడుతున్నాం. సతీష్ స్టార్ట్ చేసేయమంటారా? 643 అదే. Sir, good evening, sir, to all the August gathering for this 17th endowment lecture on of Engineer Atluri Venkateswara garu. This will be there will be a keynote address to be delivered by Engineer Apparati Srinivas Reddy garu, is General Manager EHS, Head Noida International Airport, sir. And I invite our past chairman and council member Ayeshan to preside over the today's event, sir. Today's Atluri Venkateswara Gari 17th endowment lecture. As our chairman could not able to attend because of the demise of his family member, sir. So
Yes, sir.
I also invite P. Satish Kumar Garu, the convener of the event, and he also committee member of the Institute of Engineers, CSC. It's really great that the family members of Atluri Venkateswara Garu are also part of this event. Invite them, Ramarao Garu, Atluri Ramarao Garu, Atluri Subbarao Garu, and Atluri Srilakshmi Garu to be part of this event. Ramarjil Chari Garu, Sonu Kumar Pandey Garu, K. Satish, Mahesh, Ratnam, and Tarun also are part of the event. Sir, I think we have to garland the portrait and pay tributes to the departed soul of Engineer Atluri Venkateswara Rao Garu, sir. We'll garland, portray the garland and pay tributes to the portrait of Venkateswara Rao Garu. Again, we'll come back, sir.
Yes, sir.
The event typically takes 5 minutes, sir. Please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello?
Sir, so I think they gone to Garland to Venkateswara garu, sir. They'll come back, sir. Maybe in next 5 minutes. They gone to Garland.
Thank you, Anandal. Now I would request ISN Rajgaru to present over the event, sir, please.
Good evening to everybody.
Good evening, sir.
Very good evening. I am Dr. ISN Raju, past chairman and also presently council member. So due to some other exigency, our chairman, Dr. G. Venkateswara Subbagar, could not make himself. He asked me to preside over this today's event. All good evening to everybody and hearty welcome to the today's chief guest and keynote speaker, Atluri Srinivas Reddy Garu. He was
Thank you, sir.
GM and also the EHS head of the Noida International Airport. And we are great. He's our Hyderabadi. His education is there in JNTU and he did a lot of things here. So, respected family members of Atluri Venkateswara Garu, Atlu Subbarao Garu, his son, and Ramarao Garu, and Madam Srilakshmi Madam is also there. And our committee members, past committee member Ramanacharya Garu, our convener and today's event, and our committee member Professor Satish Garu, and other past chairmen, past presidents, committee members, corporate members, and all other allied gathering of today's event, sir. It is my pleasure to be, and also ladies and gentlemen, and it is my pleasure to be a part of today's evening, that is a 17th endowment talk of the memory of Atluri Venkateswara Garu by our Telangana State Center. And we are all aware that our Telangana State Center was established on 28th August 2016, subsequent due to the bifurcation of the combined state of AP, and we are carrying out the legacy of the erstwhile Hyderabad State Center and also the combined AP State Center, during which time actually our Atluri Venkateswara Garu, he was a director of AP LCT Board, AP State LCT Board. And we got I think our state center is one of the vibrant state centers of among 125 Institute of Engineer centers across the country. And we are continuing the legacy of the erstwhile fame and name of the Telangana State Center. Earlier it was AP State Center at Hyderabad. Prior to that, it is Hyderabad State Center. So why I am telling is, so now it got its name and fame because of conducting very good number of technical activities, and it was very vibrant, and we received the Best State Center Award. Even after establishment of Telangana State Center also, we received about 4 Best State Center Awards. So that is very rare. Just in 8 years we got it. Earlier we got about 10 awards for the best state center award. So we are proud of that one. And so all this proud and prideness has come because of eminent technocrats like Atluri Venkateswara has become a part of Institute of Engineers. And another important thing is, apart from conducting these the national seminars, 2-day seminars, international seminars, and talks, and all those things also. So another important calendar of events is the family members of the eminent technocrats and corporate members. They on their sponsoring, we are conducting the endowment talk in memory of the eminent people of all spheres. And we got about such a 20 number of talks are there across the throughout the year. Every year we conduct these events. So today's event is one such eminent engineers memory endowment talk of Atluri Venkateswara garu. And we are happy that we pay our homage, and just now we have garlanded the portrait of Atluri Venkateswara garu in our committee hall. And we are thankful to Subbarao garu, Ramarao garu, and Madam Srilakshmi madam of family members. So we have installed this endowment lecture on this Institute of Engineers. So of course, prior to this COVID, so the events used to be a physical event will be there. Because of subsequent to COVID, now we are conducting the virtual event because some of the members and will be away from the Hyderabad, and also it is an opportunity that everybody, not only in India, but across the globe, they can also participate in the event. So coming to this today's endowment talk in the memory of Atluri Venkateswara, you all know, just now that Atluri Ramarao told that by 2027, so 100th birthday will be approaching that one. So he born on this day in 1927 on the September 28th. So in the next 2-3 days, I think in 2027, I think the family members will celebrate his birthday with a very important, as an important event in memory of the stalwart Venkateswara garu. So you all know that Atluri Venkateswara garu is served in over 3.5 decades in the erstwhile AP State LCD Board. Of course, subsequently it was bifurcated into and Janpom. And earlier to that, in many capacities, he worked there and served for about 3.5 decades. And another important thing is, not only was the chief engineer in the APLCD board, but he was the director in the last leg of his service. He was the director personnel. So in the APSC board, different directorates will be there. One directorate will be personnel, and he headed that director personnel because he got a lot of passion and interest. Very rarely engineers will have that passion about the human resource development and human resource management, which is very, very important for the functioning of any board or any organization. So actually, from off the other his colleagues, and I came to know that you did wonderful the work not only in engineering but also as a personal director personnel also. He has streamlined the service rules of all category of employees and also streamlined the establishment of different requirements. Actually, the pride and achievement of any board will depend upon the services rendered by the personnel. So for that personnel, actually, that with the best efforts of Atluri Venkateswara garu, the board could able to perform because of his contribution. So like this, he did a wonderful thing, and he has written some. So actually, I remember when the chairman also this event was conducted. So some of his family members also displayed some of the publications made by Dr. Atluri Venkateswara garu. A lot of his publications are about the human resource management and also some of the technical engineering events and other things also, personal management also. So that is a great thing that today we are celebrating the birthday, not only birthday. So on his memory also, we are conducting a technical endowment talk. That was the so on our request, Atluri garu. So he has accepted to be the keynote speaker. So we are very thankful to you, sir. And is also
Thank you, sir.
the topic is also very, very so important and is required, is the need of the hour. That is about the topic is safety.
Safety management systems.
Safety management with an overview of ISO 45001.
45,001, right?
Actually, so there is a good background of Srinivas Reddy garu also. Actually, is working as a general manager in that Noida International Airport. So why I'm telling is safety is a very important aspect of this airports management also. Recently, you have seen that some of the airports, Delhi and other ports also, the roof collapses were there, other things are there. So safety is very of paramount importance. That is very, very important apart from this one else. So now, before requesting Srinivas Reddy Garu to go in for a talk, so I give the mic to Satish. Is there? No. Okay, our Honorary Secretary, so K. Sitaram Babu Garu, he will present the biodata of the keynote speaker, Apurate Srinivas Reddy Garu. Mic is hand over to Sitaram Babu.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. I would rather read the profile at a very micro level, sir, rather than going to the details. Is basically engineering graduate from JNTU AP and has done his civil engineering in environmental engineering from Baroda, Gujarat, MS University. And the vast experience that he has got garnered over a period of time. He has working in safety and environment management of infrastructure and industrial projects since 25 years, heading EHS function of Noida International Airport project from June 2022, headed implementation of EHS system of Hyderabad Airport expansion project from October 18 to May 22, and Bangalore International Airport from January 11 to 14, headed EHS function of Hyderabad metro stations and depots work from February 2014 to 19 of October, headed EHS Department of Delhi International Airport T3 construction phase, including terminal, airside works, and four-cone flyover. Approved trainer for NEBOSH IGC, IOSH Managing Safety, and IOSH Incidental Incident Investigation for L&T Corporate Training Center. Trainer for Safety and Environment Management of Metro Rail Airports, Road and Water Sectors, projects to different levels and types of audience. Worked in the implementation of environmental and safety management plans of road projects, including bridges and flyovers funded by World Bank for 5 years in 17 contracts. Drafted HSC specifications for USAID and MDDF funded infrastructure projects in Sudan through United Nations Office for Project Systems. Working knowledge of LEED certification for the past 15 years. Prepared EHS plan, supervision and training manual for the implementation of EHS systems. Worked 4 years for preparation of environmental and safety management plans, environmental impact assessment and environmental audits. Process working knowledge of data analysis, interpretation and writing programs for compilation of data for preparing EMP and EIA reports, working with multinational workforce from 2002 year onwards. Thank you very much, sir. With this wonderful profile that he has got, I would hand over the mic back to the presiding officers.
Okay.
Hello, sir. Can I start?
Ratan Garu,
Oh,
sir, please, sir, Sergeant, sir.
Can I start, sir? Presentation?
Please.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Sergeant, sir, please.
Share here also. Okay.
One second, sir. I'm opening my file. Okay. Mhm. I'm sharing, sir. One second. This time, closing this, whatever it is there. One second, sir. I'm just opening the file. Yeah. Good afternoon all. Hope I think able to see the presentation slide. Able to see, sir? Any of you can confirm?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So good afternoon all once again. As speakers Atish Babu garu explained, told about me. So I am working in the safety management system for almost 20 years. So and I conduct audits and I face the audit. So I have more working knowledge on the ISO 45001. Before, prior to this ISO 45001, it was OSHA's 18001. So I have a lot of working knowledge on this and also environmental management system. So with this, actually, the why you need the safety management system. All these days, you know that many people are injuring, many people maybe in the road accidents or in the construction site. Wherever you see mega project means people get injured or maybe they die also. The reason the safety is maybe people are taking care, companies are taking care, but whatever they are taking care is not adequate. So how they can improve? For that, one has to establish the system. What is that system? Okay, everybody says that legislation is there, one has to follow. Okay, so legislation to be followed, and who will check? Who will confirm that requirements are followed? And who will confirm that any improvement is required. For that, if you go with the safety management system or ISO 45001, so then you will plan, you will check, and you will do, you will check, and then you will act on that. So any areas to be improved, or you have done to such an extent where improvement may be very little required. So then also you have to improve so that whatever required to be done for the prevention of injuries, so that all can be done by a company and adhered by the people who are working. It may be worker, it may be supervisor, it may be engineer, it may be manager, all has to be followed. So for that, how it can be done, I just throw and I show some examples which are done in my recent projects. So for each and every class or some classes, I show the examples. I'll play one video also for all of you. So which I used to play in our iOS trainings. Okay. So with that, these are the contents. So what are the benefits of the safety management system? I explained a little on that. So we see some of the accident statistics. Every year, millions of people die, out of which most of them from the occupational diseases and some of them from the occupational injuries. So then how we can, or what is the need of ISO 45000, how it helps, that also we see, and a little overview of plan, do, check, act cycle, and then some sections of all the sections of the ISO 45001. I may not detail much because maybe this is actually a full day program to have a understanding a little also. Otherwise, it is supposed to be a 5 day session to become an auditor. Okay, at least 3 days training is required to become an internal auditor, or to just have the overview. So for you people, just overview will be enough, because maybe some of you are leading the projects or leading the departments, and some of you may be students, or some of you may be heading the construction sites, or maybe giving the projects to the people. In such a case, maybe just if you have the overview of it, so then you can think, or you can ask the people to implement this, or may not be just implementing this, the contents of this, maybe implementing this means maybe cost. So when you do not have budget for that also, the requirements can be met. Okay. So, and then rewards and recognitions, and then we see some of the questions which we have, and then I will answer for any of you. If I do not know, then I will take the note, and then I will let you know maybe later. So these are some of the benefits of implementing the occupational health and safety. So first and foremost thing is that human suffering. So maybe the person who injured, he has to undergo pain, and he may have to get hospitalized. Maybe some serious injury means amputation, or maybe it uh, he may have to leave this universe itself, and then their family members have to suffer a lot. So that is a serious problem. And if you implement safety, it is more productive. People think that safety means you have to spend money. For me, with my experience, I say that it is not at all money. It is saving only, productive. You can take an example, fixing the light on the light pole, or repairing a light. So somebody goes on the ladder or without any ladder who goes. So it takes time, and for the ladder holding also one more person required. At the same time, if you give a boom lift or scissor lift or something advanced, so then people can go and fix the light or come back maybe in an hour or two. He can fix or repair hundreds of lights. At the same time, if it is the ladder, then maybe daily 4 or 5 only he can do. And the quality of job also. See, when he fixes the light, so it may not be in the right position. So it may be little angle, so that may get damaged while rain or something. Maybe it may fall itself. So that, and also costly affair, as I explained. So instead of fixing at 100 lights, he may fix only one light. So then you have to engage more manpower. All these days, the cost of manpower is increased a lot. Now, recently, I have seen that the labor cost, the labor wage is increased to 1,000 rupees per day. So in some places are some skills. So that's also under reputation. Anywhere the people are injuring means they say that hey, in this place I should not go and work. In this company I should not go and work. So people say that a good company, so let us go and work. And job security for the workmen and also for the companies also. Nowadays, whenever any contract is being awarded, they are looking at the accidental statistics of the companies also. They are evaluating that. So when they are evaluating, they are giving some score also. When some company or some institute who are having more accident, they may not get the jobs. So that also problem. So when the people are getting promoted, there also companies or maybe institutes, they are checking how safe he can get in the job. So if you feel that the person get done the job very safely, then they give the promotion to such people. There is a consideration for that also. So this is how there will be there are the advantages or benefits of the implementation of occupational health and safety. So I play a video. So just to go through it, then you will understand the full example of what I told. I think video audio is coming, right, sir?
Yeah.
One second, sir. I play the audio. I make the audio.
We are hearing the audio only things.
One second, sir. I am not sure how to make the audio to come, but I'll check. Share. Now you check, sir. Sir, now sound.
Nó食飯魚啊，都冇嘅，慢唔到啦。有啊，喺呢度啦。呢份只係定食屋嘅菜單嚟嘅喎，有鰻魚就得啦。咖喱飯、炒飯、冬麵湯、炒肉。嚇，鰻魚啊！我嘅集中力好似唔夠好喎。今日做咩成日心喐喐，想食啲味道濃啲嘅嘢咧？啊，你睇下西餐廳啊！咪就係喺車站後邊嗰間咯。巴師奶，我哋想食呢個啊，記死嘢啊！包飯就唔使特登叫外賣啦，揀包飯自己整得啦，食幾多都有啊！嚇！我自己今日想食啲薯角㗎，你今日想食㗎？你老豆都想食㗎？啊！食壽司啊，食壽司啊！我本來都唔係想食壽司嘅。
Yeah, this is the video which I use it to use for training the people when they come for the OHS management systems. Okay, so that people understands a little bit of impact will be there in them. So maybe later when we conclude the session, you can reflect yourself. Some of you can reflect yourself on this. So these are some of the accidental statistics happened over the world. So 3 million workers die every year, out of which 2.6 from the diseases and 3 lakh people, 333,000 people from accidents. So every year, okay. So 395 million people, they sustain the non-fatal accidents. That means 39 crores of the people. So 1/3 of the Indian population. So getting injured out of 5% of the world population. If you calculate that as 780 crores, it's 5% of the population are getting injured on annual basis. So that's why the safety, it should be zero or maybe 0.01%. Some cases may not be possible. So that's why we have to see it as a very necessity for implementing the some system. May not be only the ISO 45000 or management system, safety management system. We can draft our own system, so which can be implemented. We have IS in Indian standard codes also. There is a reference code which talks about the same standard, so that also can be implemented. So with this, these many injuries are costing around 4% of the 4 to 5% of the global GDP, which is equivalent almost global GDP is about $105 trillion. So, and our India GDP is almost nearly $4 trillion. So the accident costs of the world is equivalent to the India GDP. So just imagine how much we are losing the money on annual basis from these injuries. So that's what everybody can see. Everybody has to contribute to this. Then injuries can be reduced. Cannot be made zero at all. Whoever say zero, it's very challenging. So that's what we can all do for this. And one of the study conducted by the NIT and then IIT Delhi, they found that around 48,000 people are getting killed every year, out of which 11,000 are from the construction itself. So that's it may be construction, maybe mechanical, electrical, civil, or any. So these are the some more statistics which I have grabbed from one of website available. So this many injuries are happening, almost that 45,000 one, it is matching. Okay. So what are why you need ISO 45001 or any safety management system? So it will prevent work related injuries, maybe can we aim for prevention, so at least reduction will be there. So that's what we have to see at the first step, and then provide the safe health and work environment for all the people who are working. And it always provides before injury itself, one can work on identifying what are the hazards and then mitigating them, so that hazard will not turn into the accident. Like a bike, okay, if it is maintained well in time, so then chances of failing the engine or chances of failing the brake will be very, very remote. So that is how the identifying the hazards, and then it will fulfill the legal requirement. Once you are in the system, that means you have deployed required resources and required people for monitoring it. So that means they are verifying. They maybe looks like drones, but still they verify and they say that these are the shortcomings, and then they help in improving that area. And customer also, most of your customers, you are giving the jobs. So some people, some of you may be the contractors, some of you people may be the consulting people. So when you are in the consulting, contracting at the customer, so you may be customer to somebody because you may be taking the loan from somewhere, some international bank, and you are spending the money. So in such cases, the banks also monitor. So how this client is performing. So for that, the customer satisfaction, and you can demonstrate on the global benchmarking and say that my organization, like uh, one of the sirs said that we are top in the top 4 centers out of 125 centers. So like that, you can be the top one organization out of maybe 4,000 organizations present in India. So like that, you can think, and then we can improve it. And then we have, I take a little to the 45,001. So prior to this, we have the ISO 18,001, which was published in 1999 and then revised in 2007, I think. So then later they come up with, because it was not recognized as ISO standard, then they converted, or they have taken most of the contents from there, and a little changes were done. So with that, they called it as ISO 45,001, and that has come in that. So this is the latest standard for the health and occupational safety. Okay, this can be implemented by any organization, maybe four people organization, or 100 people organization, or 2,000 people organization, or 2 lakhs people organization, 5 lakh people organization, or even 10 lakh people organization also. So wherever people feel that I need, so then they can implement. Okay, it is not only for the workers of the lower class, it is for the workers of the high class also, because nowadays you see many people are suffering from the anxiety, many people are suffering from some nerve related diseases, who are working on the computer day in and day out. Okay, they are feeling the mental stress. Now occupational health and safety has included the mental health angle also. That is why it is very, very essential to take care of each and every person working. Anybody working, maybe it may be home, it may be office, it may be construction site, it may be somewhere else, where it is applicable. So that's why it is the standard helps. So its application is a very simple process. That's plan, do, check, and act. So what we wanted to do. So what are the results to be achieved? So how we achieve. So that is how we will plan. This is where people are succeeding. So many organizations who are having many incidents or injuries prior to implementing the standard, after implementing this standard, so they are able to make it. They are able to reduce this. See how we can do the plan, do, check, act. How we plan it. What are the requirements to plan? For anything to be planned, you can say that accidents to be reduced. So what are the requirements? So internal and external issues. Internal and external issues maybe from the governmental agencies and your employees, your management issues. So those are the issues which comes, and needs and expectations of interested parties. Interested parties may be public, your own people, or somebody else, some government agency, or your customer, your client, your somebody else. So all, what are their needs and expectation? My people not to be injured. My contractor should ensure that nobody suffers from the work. Like that, they take, and then in that the planning stage, so where they will set these are the objectives. So when the objectives have come, then they will ask how you will achieve these objectives. So next level. So once they set objectives, so for setting objective, one should have the policy. Once you have the policy, objectives, and then enforcement, not enforcement over there. So then planning for achieving those objectives, and then risk assessment, how you will assess the risk, and enforcing that will part the form of planning. Once you have that, then you have to go to the support. So where you will provide the resources. So it may be technical resource, or it may be manpower, it may be material required, and also technology required. All will be provided over there. Training required, all will be provided over there. And then once you have set the objective, then you have provided the resources, people will start working on that, will operationalize. So once you have the operationalization, there will be so many challenges will come. So then in that case, you must have emergency preparedness also. Even after having everything also, something can go wrong in a very bad manner. Maybe machine failed, so which nobody expects. So crane topples, nobody expects. So that's why emergency response also required. Once you have that, then you have everything in place. You have, then what you have to do? You have to check performance of it, whether this is working or not. So like you develop a checklist, you develop a process for it. So once you develop a checklist, process, or anything, so you have to check that. So when you are checking that, definitely there will be some shortcomings, which may be non-conformities, which may be some injuries, something. So then it comes to the improvement. Once you have any non-conformity or violation or the shortcomings or any injuries, then you have to replan to reduce such injuries or non-conformities. Then when you replan, then again next cycle will come. So in the first cycle, there may be many issues. So once you go on implementing or enforcing this PDCA cycle, next cycle there will be reduction of further reduction of non-conformities or injuries. So like that, you have to go cycle on cycle. Whenever a organization establishes the ISO 45001 or safety management system, so initially it will be very challenging to implement, enforce. So then after a year or two, then it will become cyclic. So once it becomes cyclic, definitely there will not be any challenge for the organization to implement. Then everybody will appreciate your organization. Then people working in the organization also will be happy. So that because there will be less number of injuries in the organization or no injuries at all. Yeah, this is the organization structure of the ISO 45001. So context of the organization, how it is, as explained to you, that is for the planning, and also leadership. Leadership plays the central role. So where the planning has to be done, and then where you have the how you will address the risk, how you will review it, okay, how you will perform it, then providing the resources, then operationalizing, then performance monitoring, then improvement. These components I'll explain one by one. How you take the context of the organization. First, you have to understand what is my organization. So these many people are going to work, okay? These are the issues which are available with my organization. These are the expectations from the people, okay? So these are the constraints. These are the challenges which I am going to face. Then you have to get the needs and expectations from the workers and other interested parties. Workers, they say that, sir, I want good place to work, okay? So I want harness when I am working at height. I want helmet, jacket, and shoe. These all have to be given to me when I am working at height. Scaffold or the boom lift or something has to be given to me. So these have to be considered. And other interested parties, when we are working on the road, people say that my traffic should not be hindrance to me. So then we have to plan the works in such a manner that there will be least discomfort to the public. So that is how you have to take. Then scope, once you get the understanding of the needs and expectation, understand the organization, that means your constraints and expectations of the people, then you determine what you will do, what you cannot do. There it's have to define. Once you have defined, then you can draft the management system. So here you get the overview of the management system. Then you can go to the leadership. So this is what the context you get. So what are the requirement? Okay. So understanding the issues, both positive and negative. Okay. You have the opportunities from the external factors. Okay. External context. You may have to take culture, social, political, key trend in the industry. Okay. Internal, maybe government policies, objectives, your own. Okay. Your own organization culture. What are the trends in the organization, trends in the maybe sector. So then you can plan. So these are the some of the needs and expectations, how it can be customer requirement, worker requirement, supplier requirement, maybe third party, industrial requirement, regulation, emergency services. All this we have to take when you are considering the needs and expectations. These are the inputs which you have to take before establishing the policy itself. And then we should have the scope, okay, scope of the occupational health and how you can define it. So you have to set the boundaries. Up to this extent only I can go. Like maybe when I am working on the road, I cannot make comfort exactly 100% like before. So maybe 90% comfort I can give. So that you have to define. Maybe I have to close the road by half a lane. So I cannot compromise over there. There you have set the boundary like that. Then you understand the external and internal factors. So availability of the labor, availability of the resources, or availability of the maybe technology. All that also you have to consider. So in interested parties requirement already you considered. Okay, work related activities performed. So that also has to be taken into consideration. Okay. So then you should have the scope to address the risk, potential risk, hazards. So what could go wrong, and then what is the outcome of some hazard that you have to consider, and then system has to be established. So then you have drafted a system. This is how I am going to work. So then you have to identify those requirements and you have to integrate them into your business process. Whatever the business may be, you may be the owner, client, or the contractor, or whoever it is, or the consultant. And then once you have the system, you will have the policy. Policy should consist of what your intent, your organization intent, and providing the resources and providing the training. Resources means maybe it includes the training, manpower, machinery, all that. So what you will provide, and then how you will monitor, and how you will place the system. Those all things to be incorporated in your policy. So for that, maybe contractor or anybody's management plan, and then objectives, actions, and then you can have method statement. These are the examples how it can be done. Method statements, and then SOPs, guidelines. These all will form part of planning. And then leadership plays very vital role in the management system. So their commitment is very, very essential. Not that, okay, in front of the worker, we commit that we do everything. But when we come to the room, we say that, hey, it is going to cost us. So I have not factored this cost. So that should not be. And they have to set the policy, occupational health and safety policy, or EHS policy, or only safety policy. You can name anything, but the outcome is to prevent or reduce or minimize the accidents. So then we have to define the organization. That means head of the organization has to define the roles, responsibilities, and authorities. Who is for what they have to do, and the head of the department or the organization head or the CEO of the organization has to allow consultation and participation with the workers, and this should be in all directions, up, down, down, up, and then cross all. Whenever anything goes wrong or people perceive that something can go wrong very serious, they should be allowed to open up. So then action can be taken before something go wrong. Like some places, so electric sparks are coming from the pole. There should be a system to get the information. Once somebody gets the information, why that sparks are coming, somebody addresses, then there will not be. Otherwise, the sparks may fall on somebody or it may cause some fire accident. So when some open tanker or some open combustible material passing on the road, if the sparks fall on that, then it may cause fire. So that's how we have to allow the people to consult and participate. Now, these are some of the examples. So one has to demonstrate, and then leader has to take overall responsibility and accountability for protecting the worker, and should allow active participation of workers, and these to be considered while establishing the committee, and committee must be there for him. And then any barrier which comes across in the communication, that should be removed by the management. That means there should not be any barrier for communicating, and one has to develop the program which enhances the safety culture, and has to allow these things to be placed in the contract or whatever you are writing in the between the two parties. So then we have to set the principles, and then that principle shall include prevention of injury or ill health, and then policy on the consultation and workers should be included. So that policy should be appropriate to the size of the organization, and the commitment has to be given. It should include context of the organization. It should include commitment, and then what are the hazards and opportunities, how you will capture that also to be included. And once you drafted the policy, it has to be communicated within the organization and other parties who are interested. It may be your client, your customer, your contractor, or your public who are there in and around, or the government organization. It has to be communicated to all. This is one of the policy which I have taken, which shows the intent of the organization, they commit and comply all the legal requirements. Okay, this is the policy which is in line with the OSHA's requirement. So ISO 45001 requirements. Okay. So commitment to comply with the legal requirement, and providing the resources, providing the training, and providing continual improvement. Okay, and promoting the safety culture and circulation of the policy, and also the policy communication to the stakeholders and review at least once in 2 years. Okay. So then the leader has to define the roles, responsibilities, accountabilities of the people. So what are the roles of each engineer, worker, supervisor, and the safety person? And then this has to be communicated within the organization, and the roles which are defined has to be documented. And everybody has to accept their role, and they have to perform in such a manner that they will adhere to them. And then consultation participation, for that also channel has to be established. So then once the channel is established, that has to be communicated to the people, and one has to provide very clear access, okay, for the information which is required for them, or may not be really required for the people, but organization feel that it has to be communicated, that to be communicated. Here also we have to define what will be communicated, what will not be communicated, and that has to be adhered to. So in this, all the barriers to be removed. We have to emphasize to participate non-managerial workers. All workers has to be participated, and emphasis to include all the workers. So this is how it has to be. And then we have to see that planning. Okay. Then now we come to the planning, actual planning. So to address the risks in any organization, any work, not only in organization, in our home also there are risks and there are opportunities. So we have to capture the risk, and we have to have the controls to prevent that risks turning into accidents or injuries. Once you have intervened at this stage itself, that means you identified the risk and you converted the risk into opportunities, then automatically there will be no accident or minimized. Accidents are minimized. So for that, once you identified, you have to plan how you will achieve that. So for that, you should have planning to address the risks and opportunities. So what is the tool available? That is hazard identification and assessment of risk and opportunities. The tool available to prevent injuries or to reduce the injuries. So then you have to determine whether these are coming from legal requirements. That means anywhere, maybe BOSWA Act or the Electricity Act or any other act which is there, which may be Motor Vehicle Act. Is it falling under that? Once it is falling, then you have to comply with. If not falling also, your organization can take that as the other requirements, legal and other requirements. You can take the other requirements and comply with. Then you should have planning for the prevention. What is that? Now you see that. So this actions, how you get that. So context of the organization you have to consider, interested parties you have to consider, the scope you define, then you have to take risks and opportunities. From there you identify. Okay. Then you have the hazard identification and assessment of risk and opportunities. Here, hazard is a source or situation which has potential to cause injury or ill health. So you have to identify such, what are the hazards from my work. Once you identify such, then you can assess the risks from those hazards. Once you assess the risks from those hazards, then you can control them. You can place the controls for that. Once you place the controls, you can enforce them or implement them. Once you implement them, then the risks will not turn into accidents or injuries. How you can identify hazards? So how? Because everybody is not having experience of the work, then how one can? So you can see the past accidents from the industry, or if you are in the same organization, maybe within your organization, there could be some incidents or accidents registered, and then activity observance, and then any emergency which happened, and then one has to study human factors. It may be availability of the skill or person response, mental condition, all that, and then equipment design. So some equipment may have to be operated in the dangerous way only, like a grass cutter. So it cannot have the guard. So you have to operate. Suppose you state that all machines have to be guarded. Okay, absolutely right. But when it comes to the grass cutter, how it can be? It has to rotate. Then not possible. So for that, you have to see how it can be, and any changes in the organization or in the legislation or in the technology comes, that also to be captured. Our knowledge at the time, I am not aware that the guard has to be there. But now today I come to know that guard is required for my machine. Then I fix the guard. So there is change in the knowledge. So then we have to see the social factors also, working hours, which may be the safety culture, has to be enhanced. This is from these inputs, you can identify the hazards. So once you identify the hazard, then you have to assess the risks. So in that, once you assess the risk, then you define the criteria. How much risk I will take action, the level of risk. So it may be, the risk may be low risk, medium risk, high risk. So you can define it. So that is from the hazards. When you are evaluating that, you can identify the probability of something going wrong and the consequences. What could be the highest consequence? Then that is called severity. So once you know that, then you can calculate the risk by multiplying probability with severity. So if it is a high level, then you can define that maybe in the table 5 by 5 matrix. So in that 5 by 5 matrix, if you get maximum 25, minimum 1. So up to 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, then 5 to 10, then 12 to 16 or 12 to 15, and then 16 to 25. You can define, okay, medium risk, low risk, high risk, extreme high risk, like that you can define, and then you can progress. So that's you define and you are progressing, and you have opportunities. Opportunities means the control measures for improving the OHS of the workplace. So once you provide the opportunities, then who will do that? Once somebody has identified the opportunities, they have done something, then that's accident prevention or accident reduction will happen with that. So in that, you have to see whether it is legal requirement or not. So once it is a legal requirement, then it has to be implemented 100%. So that's what the advantage of implementing the 45,001. Once you have such, so there will be external auditor comes and your internal auditor comes. They also check as a third eye. So they will identify if the gaps are there. So once they identify the gaps, then definitely you will close the gaps. Then you will comply with. Once you comply with the legal requirement, definitely it will be the safer place. So this is how the planning actions can be done. So that has to address the risks and then all applicable legal requirement, and you have to have emergency procedure, and you have to integrate. All these have to be integrated with your business processes so that you will have equal weightage for the occupational health and safety when compared along with quality or the finance or anything, production, all that. So which will eliminate the hazards and reduce OHS risks, and it will provide best practices. You can participate in the best practice in the industry. You people can come to you to learn. So that is how it can help. So with that, you have to set the objectives. Like this year, none of my machinery will be without guarding, and nobody walks at height without harness about 2 meters. Okay, my organization, I declare, is no smoking. So that means nobody smokes, nobody brings anything into my organization. So like that, once you decide some of the objectives, maybe every year 5 or 10 objectives can be set, and then once you define how you will achieve that. So you say you stated that none of my worker will work above 2 meters without harness. So what you will do for that? How you will achieve that? So then you say that maybe I procure the harness, I supply harnesses free of cost to my workmen, I train the workers to wear the harness, and I educate my all the employees that any work when you are undertaking about 2 meters, you have to ensure that harness is given. So once you define that, that has to be enforced. How will enforce? So for the process has to be established. That is called planning to achieve objectives. So this is how the objective can be as explained. Then who will do, what will be done, okay, what are the resources, who will be responsible, when it will be completed, how it is measured, how the actions will be integrated in the overall approach, and how this all whatever you're doing, it should be document should be maintained. That's what I explained to you. Once you set objectives, you should define all this and it will work. So some of the examples like we have, these are the objectives. So all people have to be trained who are coming to us, and then HSC requirement to the contractors. So then half-day training to the employees. So work downs. So like this we define. So all you also can define such, and then you can enforce them. This is the some of the plans which we have. Our contractors are using them now. OHS management plan, emergency response plan, site traffic management plan, environmental management plan. All are there in that in detail. How it will be enforced. Checklist will be there. Those checklists will be enforced. So once checklist confirmed means your policy is achieved. Now this is how the hazard identification and risk assessment, one can have the matrix of 5 by 5, where you have the can identify the hazard, you can have the hazardous event, you can identify the probability, severity, then what could be the risk rating. So based on the risk level, you have to have the controls. So organization may be having the own controls, that is called existing controls. Maybe some organizations need to have the existing control of some organization, may be additional controls from some organizations, because a company matures who has established the system and they enforce it for 2 3 years or 5 years, then their level will be higher compared to the organization where they started just enforcing the system. So that is how it.
Shall we close it in another 5 10 minutes, sir?
5 10 minutes, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Okay, sir. Give me 15 minutes, sir. I close it. Okay. I go a bit faster, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Then we have the do. So where the whatever we plan for doing, people have to be given the resources. Okay. And then resources means maybe manpower, machinery, technology, all that, and competency has to be increased, awareness, and then information, communication, documentation to be given, and then resources. It may be human resource, natural resource, infrastructure, technology, okay, diversity, skill, knowledge, all comes as and competency. So training to the people, educating how it can be done, and what is the role of the people, each person, how you can elevate the people, how you can retain the documentation that has to be there. Awareness, policy, we have to communicate what is the policy, what are the roles and responsibilities, how we are doing that, have to be communicated to the people. That is called awareness. And then we have to communicate to the people inside and external to the organization, has to be communicated, and it has to be documented how it will be done. And then these are the some of the documents to be maintained. So where, what, how it will be communicated to be defined, and confidentiality also to be maintained for that. And then once you have defined all the things, you have to operationalize. In the operationalization, you have to have management change, and then procurement. In the procurement itself, when you are entering into the contract itself, you have to define, you have to source such a contractor or such an agency who can take safety controls to the extent what is required. Even after having also some emergency can take place. So for that, one has to get prepared. So for that, response plan must be there. So these are some of the things which are required for the planning. So you have to establish criteria and process, and you have to document that. So adapt the system what you plan, and then in that you have to see the controls, how you can eliminate the hazard. First thing, there is a hierarchy of controls. So you have to eliminate hazard. If not possible, then you have to substitute the hazard. If it is not possible, or control the hazard, then administrative, then PPE. So here what happens, the best control will be the elimination, but every time it may not be possible. So sometimes you have to have the combined controls. So management change, always people say that change is constant. So then legislation may change, technology may change, the process may change, and there may be knowledge change. These all has to be included in your process. Whenever change comes, then you have to include that from your entire system. And then in the procurement itself, the contract awarding itself, you have to see the risk is minimized or controlled or enforced. So contractors, when you are appointing them, you have to select in such a manner that they will work in the safer manner, or whatever resources are required, that has to be incorporated in the contract itself. If anything to be extra budgeted, that also to be incorporated in that. There should not be any deviation in adherence to the requirements. So for the outsourcing also, anything which you are outsourcing, you have to see that there also you have to see they are practicing the system. So some organizations may outsource full. So in such cases, you have to see some organizations only if you are buying products, so then you can just only, you may not be influencing, but you can give the recommendations over there. These are some of the practices which actually practiced in the site. So worker entry checks, okay, and then providing the authentication to the people, and then equipment entry, risk control checks, and then training to the people, awareness creation, and then permit system. That also part of the change management or anything you call. Then emergency preparedness. Even after that also something can go wrong. For that you should have the emergency preparedness. So then in emergency preparedness, you have to have a plan and you have to display such, and then you have to tie up with the organizations, local medical center, because every time you may not have hospital in your place itself, then you have to conduct emergency mock drills. So then you have to incorporate such into your works. So once you have done that, how you can say that you are implementing? So management walk downs, okay, contractor walk downs, work permits, and then inspections, monthly inspections, internal audit, external audit, okay, fortnightly management review, monthly review, observation, analyzing data, all this comes as the check part. So performance monitoring, so you have to monitor, measure, all that will come in the performance monitoring. So once you have enforced that, how it is working, that has to be monitored. Okay, when you have to define when what monitored, and then how, what method you use for monitoring, how you will evaluate the result, analyze the results has to be checked. So you have to define the frequency, monthly meetings, quarterly meetings, or 6 monthly meeting, annually meeting. Once you identify any gaps, that has to be improved, the data to be used for reaction. So then you have to have the audits, maybe internal audit. Okay. So first you should have a plan for the audit, and you have to conduct the audit. Okay. You have to implement that in the effective way. You whatever the gaps identified, that also to be used for improvements. So you should have the internal audit program. Okay. So you should have competent auditors, and you have to identify gaps, and you have to give the recommendations, and those has to be enforced. So management review, so they should take these minimum things, incidents or worker participation outcome, risks and opportunities, what are there, and whatever the communications happened between the internal and external parties, that also to be reviewed, and whether resources are provided or not, any actions to improve the objectives, or any additional resources required to improve the objectives have to be studied or to be discussed in the management review meetings. So these are some of the things. So inspection checklist, fortnightly, walk downs, random. These are the confirmation for the checks. So performance evaluation can be done, and then checks, and then harness inspection, pipeline inspection, and any observation or anything comes, so it has to be discussed like this. You can monitor that, and then act. So in the act, any non-conformity comes from the auditing or any inspection has to be captured over here. Any incident happens, for that it has to be analyzed, and the root causes to be identified, and actions to be put in place, and we have to publish whatever comes in. Okay. And then another 5 minutes, sir. I close it. And then, yeah, general requirements, that incident non-conformity, and then continual improvement. So these are the incidents. Whenever something goes wrong, incident non-conformity, that has to be, inputs has to be taken, and then corrective actions has to be arrived and enforced. Continual improvement, anything we can say, I am the master. So when I say master also, I also need to improve somewhere. Okay, may not be 100%. Whoever plays the cricket for 15 years, then also he will be out in the first ball sometimes. So like that, there will be gaps everywhere. So we achieve something, and then that area people focus this. So suppose maybe most of you may know the cricket. Some people say that whenever Rohit Sharma hit to the leg side, he will get out. So then he also will come to know. Then he will work on that. Like that, the gaps will be there everywhere. So that gaps has to be identified and work to improve on the continuous basis. That is what continual improvement. So any accident comes, we have to identify. Okay, so event any incident happen, then initial report and then formal investigation and then closure report. This has to be there in place. So then rewards and recognition. Anything, any organization should observe maybe accident-free year or incident-free year, or maybe observe the promotions. Okay, National Safety Day, or rewards and recognition for the best performers. So like that you can do. Yes, sir. Thank you. Sorry, I thought that I
No,
get
no.
at least 1.5 hour time. So, but it is supposed to be a day session. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Actually, we got a board meeting at 6 o'clock. So,
Okay,
and
okay.
your 1 hour excellent presentation you have given it. Thank you, Sri Venkateswara garu. So, you have
Thank you,
gone
sir.
A to Z of this safety management system. And you have explained a lot of things about the benefits of this implementing safety management system, and also the evaluation of ISO, how it was evaluated 4,501 from its 18,001 2017. And also important chapters also. Another important thing is the PDCA cycle. That is very, very important. Plan, do, check, act. So
Yes, sir.
actually around this PDCA only entire this ISO system will revolve alone. And different sections like section 4, context of the organization, leadership, planning, support, operation, performance monitoring, and the inspections, and also awards and rewards. That is also very important, sir. So here
Yes,
I would so it is actually it's a gray area. Many of the engineers, so by say they say about the safety system, but in depth you have dealt it. And it's another coincidence is our Atluri Venkateswara sir actually as a director personnel also, you might have advocated all these policies and principles while he was in APSCB. So now it is very apt that your topic is quite apt. Another important thing is now, so every government is spending crores of rupees on a project, but at least 3 to 4% on this safety management is very, very important, because human suffering need to be weighed more than the investment on this safety management system. It is
yes,
other way you can say that a stitch in time saves more. Yeah,
yeah,
so
right.
you have seen that video also, that how that little caution for that worker could have saved his family. Is not a that disaster is not only for a generations together, not one generation. It will have impact of all the things, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Actually, I am sharing your email ID, that is appireddysr@gmail.com or appireddysr@yahoo.com. Any further interaction, people can send some queries and all those things, sir.
Yes,
So,
sir. Sure.
so now I request, sir, the family members of Venkateswara garu, sir, that Subbarao garu, Ramarao garu, Sri Lakshmi madam. So please, air your use, and we are happy that by 2027, 100th birthday, we'll be planning to have a 100th birthday in a big way. So in a physical mode and all those things, sir. So we request, so Ramarao garu or Subbarao garu or Sri Lakshmi madam, sir, please you air your
Thank you,
use on this conduct, sir. Right.
Thank you very much, sir. Srinivas Reddy garu, you have done a wonderful job of highlighting the importance of the safety in the environment. Wonderful. That's very nice. Thank you so much for taking a lot of interest and sparing your valuable time with us.
Thank you.
And also, one thing I wanted to tell you is Atluri Venkateswara garu is a electrical engineer, but exiled in civil engineering. The twisted concrete poles, which you see on the streets now, instead of earlier used to have the iron poles.
Yes,
In
sir.
1968-69, he invented these twisted concrete poles. He was also awarded by the President of India then for this invention.
Okay.
Here also the main concern that time was the electrical poles during the rainy period. They used to give shocks to the farmers and other people. So this is how Venkateswara
He thought.
garu also involved into civil engineering and twisted concrete invention. And thank you very much, Raj garu.
Thank you, sir.
With your chairmanship, this program went on very well. and Sitaram Babu Garu. Also, very nice that you have conducted. As the chairman was mentioning, yes, 27th, yes, that's going to be a big year where we will celebrate from the family members of Venkateswara Garu in a big way. So with your cooperation and coordination, so thank you very much once again to all the participants who have spent this evening with us and with the Srinivas Reddy Garu's the safety and environmental aspects. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramarao sir. Actually, so your participation is given a lot of importance for this event. A big thanks to Srinivas Reddy Garu, Apparate Srinivas Reddy Garu, an excellent presentation. Because of some time constraint, we could sometime some more time there. We will organize 1 or 2 sessions in IES, sir. Next time we will invite you for a technical session. We do it, sir. Now
Yes, sir.
I am sharing. I am requesting our honorary secretary to perform the other closing of the event.
Sir, thank you very much to one and all, sir. I thank the chairman of the Institute of Engineers, Dr. G. Venkateswara Garu, and the convener of the event, P. Satish Kumar Garu, for having made this event a grand success, sir. And we should also thank IS and Dr. IS and Raj Garu, the council member, and also the past chairman of IA, for having come in place of the chairman who is away on some family issue. And I also thank our committee members, Professor Dr. Ramna Naik Garu, past chairman, and the committee members, Dr. Engineer D. Rama and Dr. Mohammad Mohiddin Garu, for having also part of it. Once the program commenced, there are few more FIAs, research scholars have joined, sir. I take their names individually. Dr. P. Ravi Kumar, Mohammad Mohiddin, Vinoda, Professor Ramna Naik, Anusha, Sanjana, Pushmalata, Rama, Arjun Kumar, Akshara, Arun Kumar, Anand, Lakshman, Adinarayan, Subreddy Garu is also the past EC member. Shiva, Sriramlu, Aravind, Sai, Akhil, Tej Babu, Aditya, and Vaitla Garu. And thanks one and all, sir, for having come to this event. It's a wonderful event, sir. Great subject and also motivation for the scholars to go forward with us if there is any research. I request the all of you to stand for national anthem, sir, before we wind up the program, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा हिमाचल यमुना जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाये तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय 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 हे
क्या बोर्ड मीटिंग सुपर